This is Picks on Politics with Dan Mannarino.
And welcome to Picks on Politics, everybody. I am Dan Mannarino, and our big story this week, Mayor Eric Adams naming his new first deputy mayor, Randy Mastro. Now, that name, you may say, sounds familiar, and it is. Last year, Mayor Adams nominated Mastro to serve as the city's top lawyer. Many members of the city council openly opposed that nomination. In fact, in his confirmation hearing, council members grilled Mastro for 8+ hours, so much so that he ultimately withdrew his nomination. Mastro works as a prominent attorney who at the time had multiple active cases against the city. He also was a deputy mayor before for Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Now, I spoke with Randy Mastro in his first sit-down interview since Mayor Adams named him as his first deputy mayor, and he is going on the record. Randy Mastro is joining me now, so great to have you back on Picks and Politics.
Pleasure to be here, Dan.
Congratulations on the appointment now as first deputy mayor.
Thank you.
I'm curious how it came to be, right? Did Mayor Adams call you and say, hey, I have this opening? Or did somebody else call you, say Frank Carone, which has been kind of widely reported that he may have called you? Or did you call them saying, I want the job?
Okay. The one thing you don't do is call the mayor and say you want to be first deputy mayor. The conversations I have with the mayor that I've had with high-ranking public officials, I'm a trusted counselor and confidant because I don't discuss those. Yep. But let it suffice to say that, to me, it's public service is a calling. Mm-hmm. I've been called to serve. There is, in particular, a need for service right now in our city, yep. So I'm answering the call.
As you know, 4 deputy mayors resigned, one of them being the first deputy mayor last month because of what was happening and going on at City Hall. Part of that, according to our sources, was the Trump administration ordering charges be dropped against Mayor Adams. So knowing what was going on and seeing the landscape, did you have any reservations about taking the job because of what was playing out?
The short answer is anyone making a move like this would think about all of the consequences. Mm-hmm. But to me, I love this city. Okay? There's dignity in public service. And I believe in the capacity of government to do good and improve people's lives. To have this kind of opportunity, to have real impact at a time when there is such a need in our city, of course I answered that call.
So some of the sources are also telling me that the deputy mayor has resigned in part because of the migrant crisis and the relationship that the mayor may or may not have with the Trump administration, right? What do you make of the relationship with the Trump administration and the mayor? And would you, as the first deputy mayor, be willing to be a voice and stand up against the Trump administration if you feel there needs to be a voice to be had?
Well, of course, if you know my own background, and we talked about this the last time I was with you, I've actually sued the Trump administration in the past, in the first Trump administration, over peaceful racial justice protesters being assaulted in Lafayette Park in the wake of George Floyd's murder. The fact of the matter is that I think the mayor has already shown he's going to call the balls and strikes. He's already sued the Trump administration to get our $80 million back.
But he's been hesitant to be a voice and to criticize.
I wouldn't describe it that way. I know this mayor. I know he's not afraid to speak up. He's a person of conviction. And I don't see a future where he won't speak up when the city needs defending. We're here to do one thing: act in the best interests of the city, and that's what we are going to do.
I want to talk about some of the issues, right? City Council says that they don't want to take up the sanctuary city law talk or change the status whatsoever. That is a big topic of conversation right now because of what's playing out, right? So as first deputy mayor, do you believe that New York should be a sanctuary city, or should the laws be changed?
Well, actually, if you know my own history, this is like deja vu all over again. I was in a very similar position in a prior administration in the late 1990s. And I also chaired a mayoral charter commission where we embedded in our city's constitution, the city charter, the protection of immigrants, what's sometimes referred to, I hate these labels, but what's sometimes referred to as a sanctuary city. So I think that's a commitment that we as a city have. There are distinctions to be made, okay? And when it comes to public safety, That's first and foremost a priority of this administration and the commitment that all of us in government make to the people of New York City. So we shouldn't be conflating all of these issues. We are a sanctuary city in that we welcome the migrant community for city services, health, schools, cooperating with the police in going after criminals. They have the right to access city services here, and that's embedded in our city charter. That's a very different question than whether those who are here illegally commit crimes, how they should be treated.
How should they be treated?
Well, I think there's a clear distinction. And when individuals create a public safety issue at a sensitive time in our city, it's important that we use all the resources we can to address those serious criminals.
Meaning deportation?
I'm not speaking to the ultimate consequence. I am saying that there's a clear distinction, and I believe a distinction under our sanctuary city laws, for those who have committed serious, violent crimes in our city.
Let me talk about what kind of played out in the last couple months with you. Last year, and the reason we were having that conversation last time was because you were nominated to be the corporate counsel. You went through a very grueling 8-hour hearing with the city council, and you called that hearing anything but fair. But as first deputy mayor, you would have to work very closely with the city council, right? So given that fact, and since more than a majority of the council didn't want you to be corporate counsel, how do you see yourself working across City Hall? They're on the opposite side.
Well, there actually wasn't a vote. I withdrew shortly before the vote. But you are correct. I went through a grueling public hearing process. I must really want to serve. But I should also say that, as I told the city council and the city council speaker then, and now I'll have a chance to prove it. That was then, this is now. I'm going to work with you in the best interest of the city. And if you know what I was like when I was deputy mayor the first time, and unfortunately, virtually none of them did, because they were all new, with a couple of exceptions. I always had an open door to the city council. I was responsive to their concerns and realized that for the good of the people of New York City, we have to work together. This is not about whether you agree on everything, but it's about producing results, positive change for New Yorkers. And that means you have to work together. So I will always have an open door to the city council. I will always have an open door to the state legislature.
Do you anticipate pushback on this appointment because of what played out then?
I do not. First of all, it doesn't go through a confirmation process. Right. But leaving that aside,
but some might see that as a workaround then.
I actually had very cordial relationships with many people on the council and developed relationships through that process. Those who wouldn't meet with me never really got to know who I am. And as I said to you the last time we were here about a year ago, I think when they actually get to know me, they're going to like me because I'm about communication, cooperation, and getting things done. And hopefully they're about that too.
I bring up the hearing because during that hearing, you said that you would be a voice for all New Yorkers, right? And one of those New Yorkers, some may say, is the mayor himself. And we know he's in some legal situations right now. That court case has not been dropped yet. Those charges have not been dropped. So there's, I guess, a question if you'd be representing the mayor in any kind of way, because you are a lawyer, and if there's a workaround for the corporate counsel in that regard, or you'd let somebody else handle that case altogether. Okay.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there, but to make a long story short, the first deputy mayor has no role in representing the mayor individually, just as the corporation counsel has no role in representing the mayor individually. In the pending case before Judge Ho, that Judge Ho will decide in the near future and how that case does or doesn't go forward. So that isn't the issue at all. When you are first deputy mayor, you are working with an administration, but you're working for the benefit of the entire city. So in that sense, I'm so looking forward to that because there are many achievements in this administration. Maybe not fully appreciated by New Yorkers, but crime reduction, record job growth, record creation of affordable housing and the City of Yes initiative. That's historic. Dealt with the twin crises of coming out of COVID and dealing with the migrant crisis. No one thought we were going to have over 200,000 migrants literally shipped into our city. Enormous challenges, enormous opportunities, and I intend to take full advantage of the opportunity to improve the quality of life in our city.
All right, Randy Mastro, first deputy mayor. Congratulations on the appointment again, and thank you for making this your first stop. Good to see you.
Thanks, Dan.
And coming up, everybody, the latest on the mayoral race. Less than 100 days until the primary, and a former Mayor Adams supporter pulling her support in favor of former Governor Andrew Cuomo. State Assembly member Rodneyce Bichotte-Hermelin is joining me next. Picks and Politics back in just 2 minutes.